How's it going, everyone? My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of Afasi Financial Group. Today's topic, I want to discuss with you Fidelity retirement income planning and what exactly your mindset should be going into retirement and how to essentially avoid any mistakes, the typical mistakes that individuals make when dealing with their retirement plans. Now, I entitled this Fidelity because there's a lot of times that I'm dealing with clients and they have, with their employers, maybe their old 401k accounts, existing IRA accounts, they have them with some sort of Fidelity type mutual funds. So some of the things I want to kind of get out of the way with this video and help educate you on is show you ways on how to protect your assets, show you ways on how to reduce or eliminate the total fees for your retirement account so that you don't see this get dwindled down in any sort of negatives, such as downward market loss to your accounts. And then also, how exactly you want to use this money. Is this money going to be used for an inheritance later on, or do you want to essentially leverage it for retirement income and understand exactly how you could leverage the smallest amount of dollars possible in your current 401k or IRA account to essentially roll over and make sure that you are producing a maximized retirement income stream for life. Now, with the first topic, I'm going to talk about essentially what happened with individuals in right around 2008, and their whole perception of retirement was they were placing money into some sort of retirement account, whether that was a 401k, a 403b, or an IRA. And these individuals were essentially taking money from their paycheck and they were placing X amount of percentage into a retirement bucket. And so it would be the combination of whatever they were contributing plus however well it gained or lost would equal how big this bucket was at the end of the day. Now, everything was going very, very well because essentially a lot of these people, a lot of these baby boomers were contributing to this in the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, where you started seeing in the 80s and 90s, you noticed a very large upward market trend with the market. So and it was this whole perception that, I place my money into a retirement account and the market's always going to go up. I have absolutely no risk. The market's always going to go up. And unfortunately, once we hit those 2000s, we understood that there was a couple of bubbles that burst and it really affected this retirement bucket. And you understood that it wasn't necessarily how much money you place into that bucket, but the percentage of return that you receive that really hindered that. Now, how exactly can you protect your assets? If you understand that you are you're gearing up for retirement. Let's say you just severed employment and you have an old 401k sitting there, or a previous 401k that was just sitting with an old employer. You have an IRA account, a Roth IRA account, a cash account, whatever that is. But essentially, you understand that you want to utilize that money for retirement. You do not want to have that risk associated. You do not want to participate in another 2008 potential downward market loss. Now, in 2008, the average portfolio lost 57%. Is that going to happen again? Is there going to be a market reset? I mean, anything could really happen. But what are ways that you could protect to understand, okay, you have X amount of thousands of dollars in a bucket. How exactly can you leverage this bucket the proper way? And there's certain things known as indexing strategies, and this is something that we really hone in on with the financial practice. You can give us a call at any time. If I mention anything and it's really appealing to you, give our 1-800 number a call. We'll explain it more in depth. We don't charge for any of our advice that we give. It's 1-800-566-1002. But essentially, I need you guys to understand the concepts of reverse dollar cost averaging, because this is something that has eliminated and reduced tremendously and liquidated retirement accounts for thousands of individuals, especially in the baby boomers, especially with those individuals that can't go back to work because they're essentially just up there in age. They cannot perform. They do not have the energy to go back to work and try to make that income. So this is the time that they want to spend their retirement, and spend their retirement dollars with confidence. Now, with the reverse dollar cost averaging, what it essentially is the compound of effects, compound of negatives that could further reduce your retirement accounts. If you had your money invested in some sorts of mutual funds, a majority of IRAs, 401ks, that's what the options are. They're mutual funds. Over 90% of them are in mutual funds. So if you have mutual funds, understand that there's some sort of mutual fund related fee associated with that account. It could be 1%, it could be higher than that, depending upon how good a quality those funds are. The second type of fee is an advisor. An advisor, whether they're housed under your 401k administrator, they could also be charging you a hidden fee in there. Or if you're utilizing, another advisor, typically they charge you something known as a wrap fee. And what that does is they say, okay, listen, based upon a couple of questions, let's say 10 different questions, your risk tolerance may be conservative, it may be moderate, whatever that is. And based upon our analysis and based upon your 10 fund options that you have in your 401k account, we're going to recommend that you have 20% into a target date fund, 10% into the bond fund, whatever that is. But essentially their recommendations, they're going to charge you a fee for that. The most typical is about 1%. It could be higher. So right off the bat, we have 1% in mutual fund related fees. We have, and I'm just basically really undercutting exactly what these fees are. They could be a lot higher than this. You have a 1% in advisor fee. And then you have the most important potential negative is downward market loss. I mentioned to you that in 2008, the average portfolio, these were portfolios that were even with financial advisors that were quote unquote monitoring these accounts. The average loss 57%. So let's just say you had a negative 10% downward market that year. Before doing anything, your account value lost 12% based upon that number. Now, let's throw in retirement income into the mix. Because if you have a bucket of money and you do not know how to properly take that bucket, which do not be completely embarrassed about that. 99% of individuals do not know how to set up the proper retirement income plan. So it's completely normal to not understand these things. But what happens is you could research this, and you have a lot of investment advisors out there, and they tell you, oh, okay, 4%. If you take out 4% of your bucket every single year, and you have a conservative portfolio, well, you should be able to not outlive that money. The big word in that is should. First off, you want to make sure that you have guarantees in retirement. You want to make sure that you're confident in retirement, that you're at least, if you have a bucket of money and you say, listen, this $500,000, this $600,000, this $100,000, this was designated specifically for my retirement income. I'm not looking to leave that as an inheritance. I'm looking for it specifically to retire and make sure that me and my family, that we could spend our retirement dollars and it'll be coming to us just like a personal pension plan, just as if it's like another Social Security check that's coming to you. There's ways to leverage that, and it's ways to leverage it much higher than a 4% maybe retirement. So let's just say in that scenario, you decided to go off of all these wealth accumulation specialists that want to leave your money in the market so that they can keep tacking you on that 1% fee. There's always an incentive with any sort of advice that you're receiving. Now, in this scenario, let's say that you're in moderate portfolios, and let's say you had, $1 million in a bucket or in a combination of buckets, and you took out 4%. Well, you would have taken out, that's the income. You would have taken out 4%, but you would have lost 16% of value. You would have lost $160,000, but you would have only taken out $40,000 that year. You have that happen. Let's say you increase either these fees or you increase that downward market loss. It is astronomical. You will lose everything. And I've seen it happen. The reason why I try to make these videos is because I deal with hundreds and hundreds of people every single year. And I've heard the worst possible scenarios. I've heard the worst stories ever with individuals that were with wealth accumulation specialists. They said, oh, no, just leave your money in the market. It's going to, everything's going to rebound. Everything's going to rebound. So, I'm going off of personal experiences, what I've seen after the fact on these sorts of retirement accounts. So now you're saying, okay, Derek, I understand exactly all the negatives. Maybe I've seen this in other videos as well. What exactly is the solution for it? Why exactly, what exactly can I do? One of the major things that we try to show you is we show you ways on how you can protect this. So we make sure that we're eliminating reverse dollar cost averaging. We have strategies that allow you to not pay that mutual fund related fee and use indexing strategies. So no mutual fund related fee. So no 1% fee. We do not charge an advisor fee because we're essentially, when we're giving our recommendations, it's often very safe, consistent planning. When we utilize indexing strategies, what this means is you're essentially, your money, you could roll it over into an account that allows you to gain whenever the market increases, and whenever the market goes down, whenever that specific market index goes down, you would gain 0%. So you're going to have very safe, consistent growth onto that account. With that, it's not a some of this this extravagant type. We have to use crazy software to suggest to you exactly what index to go into. So we are not tacking on an advisor fee. We want to add value to you. This is why I try to create as much free content as possible, because we want to develop that trust. We want to develop the relationships. And education is the absolute key to retirement success. So we do not charge that 1% advisor fee. You will not have any downward market loss, or not have your accounts affected by any downward market loss. Meaning, let's say the market gains 20% one year. Typically, you could participate into those gains. We have certain strategies allow you to participate up to 15%, 19.2% of that. But let's say the next year, if that stock market index loses 50%, well, if you would have been in those mutual funds where the bottom could completely fall out, you would just gain 0% with our strategies, with our indexing strategies. It's off of a fixed indexing strategy. So it's not like something that's, oh my God, too good to be true. You have to think of it as just like a fixed account. Rather than a fixed account that, let's say with a bank CD, that would pay you 1% every single year for like the next 5 years. It's the indexing strategy. What they do is they leverage that fixed percentage rate, and they take that fixed percentage rate, what you would have gained on a percent, and they invest that into something risky, so that your principal is staying protected at all times. You're never risking the principal. They're only risking the interest that you would have gained that year. So essentially what you're looking at is, okay, your account value is either going to gain whenever the stock market index goes up, because you're going to be receiving gains. Anytime that the stock market index goes down, they do not execute it so that you just gain 0%. So you never have your actual principal at risk. And that's so crucial, because you have the power of compound interest that will always be working in your favor, because we're eliminating the mutual fund related fees, we're eliminating the advisor fee, we're eliminating the downward market loss. Now the very last thing is income. The most crucial thing to understand is, if you have a bucket of money or several buckets of money, you do not have to use all of that money for retirement income. You do not. If you have a specific dollar amount that you say, okay, let's say my Social Security is $2,000, my wife's Social Security is another $2,000. So right off the bat, we have $44,000 that are coming to us every single year, and I just need to have another 20 grand come to us. What exactly is that number? I have $500,000. What exactly is that number to have the additional $20,000, and it's going to cover all of our expenses? Well, you might not need the full $500,000. That number might be $325,266. The whole point that I'm trying to make is, you never want to risk all your money. You never want to throw all your eggs in one basket. If you could leverage the smallest amount of dollars possible, understand that you'll have preservation, meaning that your account value will still grow whenever the market goes up, flatline whenever the market goes down. You're not going to have mutual fund related fees. You're not going to have downward market loss potential. You're not going to have any advisor fees. And when you're looking for income, it's going to be contractually guaranteed income through insurance companies and it's income that you or you and your spouse can never outlive, however you want to set those up. So if you found value in this video, and there's certain sections that you really want to learn a little bit more about, give our 1-800 number a call. It's 1-800-566-1002. My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of the company. I established this company specifically for retirement education. I understand that you only get one shot in retirement. You want to understand exactly what you have. You want to understand the best possible strategies and be confident when executing those specific strategies in those specific companies. You have an abundance of companies out there. The worst possible thing you could do is sit at a seminar and have some advisor talk about one product and one product only, because you have hundreds and hundreds of different strategies, hundreds of different products. Whenever giving our 1-800 number a call, we have different software tools that could place your specific situation with the top three specific companies. So it's not something that we're going to go and tell you, oh, an Allianz contract might be really good or an American Equity contract might be really good. We're going to be explaining to you exactly what fits, what is your specific niche, what's that company's specific niche for your particular situation, and make sure that you're confident at the end of the day. We are Better Business Bureau accredited. We've never had complaints. Reason being is because we want to give you as much free content as possible. We want to build trust first and foremost before doing any sort of recommendations, before conducting any sort of business with you. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get the most updated videos, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.